All right. What up, world? What up, world? Good to see everybody. Good to see everybody. It's the Can't Focus podcast, where we focus on everything and nothing at the same time. Want to welcome you, one and all. We're going live from both channels tonight. We're trying something new. Both channels are live tonight. And we appreciate you joining us. We're going to be talking about multiple things. As usual, as always, on our wonderful channel. We want to also encourage y'all to hit the like and subscribe buttons, please, and thank you. And shout us out. Let us know if you're in the chat. Let us know if you can hear me. That's a big thing as well. Let us know if you can hear me. So yeah, we are going to be talking about multiple things tonight. Uh, Man, it's so multifaceted. We got uh different different slides from each of these topics. You have Cardi B talking about a lot about Donald Trump. She brings up the case of Sonya Massey. We're going to be speaking about that also. We're going to be speaking about Sonya Massey, that tragedy that it just it's heartbreaking the more and more, I think about it more and more we um speak about it and stuff, but we will be talking about it. Um Again, let me know in the chat if you hear me. Um we're also going to be discussing Trump has made some statements. I don't know how recent these statements are. They just have come up on the feed. I haven't looked to see whether or not I haven't looked to see whether or not these statements have been recent or over the past few years. I'm not sure, but he did speak about the fact that he wants to give immunity. He wants to give full-on immunity to all federal agents, I believe is the term that he used. So I don't know how far that goes. I don't know who exactly are the ones that get the immunity. Is it literally like the feds, like FBI type of stuff, or are we talking about like local police as well? Because he does mention that as well. So it's a lot to consider there. We're definitely going to be speaking about that though. And we are also going to be talking about the Olympics, 2024 Paris Olympics. I'm not sure if you guys saw this thing that they had, their introduction basically to the Olympics, and yeah, it seems to have been portraying the Last Supper, and it incorporated people from the transgender community. Apparently incorporated a child, which was seen at a later time, and a lot of people have had some backlash against the Olympics. The creative director of the Olympics, and even some people have pulled their advertising dollars. So we're gonna see that and figure out exactly get your take on it too. We want to know like what do you think about it? Because it's absolutely uh it is absolutely a highly controversial topic. So, yeah, we appreciate y'all joining us. We appreciate y'all rocking with us. It will only be Martin and I tonight. Shout out to K Dot. He's gonna be K Dot is in Kano. We used to call him that back in high school. So shout out to K Dot. He is gonna be traveling, so he's not with us right now. We got Martin. We're gonna bring Martin to the stage here. All right, my guy.
Yo,
What's going
we got
on,
to
man?
find a better way to be able to share these links. It's just a lot of work just to try to do that real quick.
Yeah,
Um, but yeah,
yeah.
I'm out here. I'm out here. We out here.
I feel you. Um, yo, you can turn on your AC, fam. Don't. It's all right.
Don't
Uh,
gotta tell me twice.
yeah, yeah, go for it, dude. Because you're not gonna. It's not gonna make for a good conversation until you get that mic, that micety mic.
Let me know. Let me know if it's about to come on right now. It takes a while for it to come on, but let me know if it's too loud.
Ah,
It's on right now.
yeah. I mean, I hear it. I hear it in the background, but it's. I think it's all good. Just talk for a second. Let me hear you. I just want to make sure I can hear you.
Mic check. 1, 2. Can you hear me?
Yeah, yeah, I hear you fine. I hear you fine. It's just a background noise, so it's fine. Um, but yeah, man. So let's get these introductions going. I'm actually jealous of you because my room is mad hot right now, and but my AC is literally right here, so I just can't make it work. Um, but yeah, how you doing, by the way? Good weekend? Decent
I'm
weekend?
good. I'm all right. But I'll tell you how my weekend's going. But let's get started first.
10-4. All right. So, welcome, one and all. It's the Can't Focus podcast, where we focus on everything and nothing at the same time. I go by the name of Alive. You can find me at Alive Raps.
Yes, sir. And what it is, what it do, what it be like, what's good, what's hood. It's your boy Martin Hopeful. And you can find me at Martin Hopeful.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Once again, we would like to encourage you to hit the like and subscribe buttons. All right. Hit those like and subscribe buttons.
Yo.
It helps us out and it spreads out the live stream to multiple audiences. We're going live from both of our channels tonight. Just hoping to bring in our old crowd and tell them about our new location for our live streams also, you know?
And I feel like Kano's the one that brings the sauce to the party in these things. He's not here. So it might be a little dry, but a little lemon pepper don't hurt nobody. You know what I'm saying? A little dry seasoning never hurt nobody. So um, we can run a show without Kano at Kano Music, um, aka decided to leave and leave us alone. So now we got to do a 2-man podcast because he think he all that.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, want to have experiences for his
uh,
summer. Who
Yeah,
does he
like,
think he is?
who does he think he is? Want to hang out with his family and be a family man instead of
Yeah.
grinding and getting this digital monetization money. You feel me?
This
You
digital
wildin'.
cheddar, this digital cheddar out here.
Yeah.
But
Um,
yeah,
um,
shout out to Kano at Kano Music. Definitely follow him.
uh,
Hopefully he'll be back within a few weeks.
you asked me how my weekend was. It's full of ups and
Yeah.
downs. Tomorrow I got a big thing going on. My class that I coach. I don't teach. I coach. They're graduating tomorrow, so I have to
Fire.
do like a speech to encourage them uh, in their route to get into their what you call it, their world of public health. So community health workers are a big piece of a puzzle that has not existed until recently for public health. Whenever you feel like a doctor is um, using doctor lingo and all these different things, and you don't understand what's going on, or the bedside manner is kind of trash. A community health worker is where you go to get that bedside manner to kind of get those definitions of what the medical jargon is. So I just preach about it because I feel like it's a very important piece of our society. A lot of us may have diabetes and don't really know it, and the doctor is telling you that you may have diabetes and you have no idea what the heck he or she's talking about. So it's actually a thing that public health needed, and now it's in high demand, and that's why we have training for it now, and that's what I do. I help train those things. So, um, you know, definitely, if you want to know more about that, come talk to me. I do have connections to get you into these trainings that put you into a place where there's a high demand of it. Um, yeah, so that's been part of my weekend.
Yo, that's
Um,
a short right there. That's a that's a little short right there.
yeah, man. I just have to let that out, man. How about you? How was your weekend?
Good man. Overall, can't complain. Still healing. Got to see Deadpool and Wolverine. Shameless plug, check out Nerdy Rhythm on YouTube. I'll be posting up a review and an initial review, and then I'm gonna go see the movie once again this week. Hopefully, I would love to catch like another showing of the movie with a different audience. Because man, one thing I learned from seeing this movie is that half of the movie going um, experience is about the experience. Uh, if your audience isn't a good audience, it's not there with you, and they're dead. It's gonna bring down the vibe of your experience. And our audience, when we saw this, full theater, but yeah, obviously it's no secret that this movie is gonna have cameos. The cameos, Martin, I'm telling you, some of them you would have lost your mind seeing them. But these people are acting like, and I'm standing there like Russell Crowe. Are you not entertained? Like, and looking at all of y'all, like, what is wrong with you people? You know? Um, so
Oh, so it
it's,
sounded like you needed people like me at the movies.
I would have loved you at this movie, actually.
Oh,
I would have
okay.
loved you at this movie.
Oh,
This would have been
what is it?
actually,
The
this is a
brains?
perfect, yeah.
You want to watch a movie with
Nah.
me no more? Okay.
You might have to connect it again to your phone. Sorry about that. Um, yeah, so it's kind of crazy. Um, but this would have been a perfect movie for you to be in, no lie. Um, so yeah, but
Let me tell you something.
it's
Live loves to shun me and my movie watching experiences and skills. He always wants to tear a brother down when he's having fun watching a movie. He doesn't want to admit that having that extra little side commentary sometimes is a game changer. And
It
now
is.
he wishes that I was there to watch a movie with him. Although he would kick me to the curb and tell me, "Nah, don't do. I ain't watching
It
movies with this cat."
it
There
depends
was a
on
whole
the
time where I
movie.
felt some type of way. He was going to the movies with all these people, and I'm like, "Yo, ain't this my like?" I thought, like, you know these people 2 3 years ago.
Yeah.
It's been high school. You going to movies with these guys? And I'm like, what happened to me? You know, I mean, like, pause. I mean, I don't like. It's not like he's whatever, but I'm just saying pause. But what happened to me? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
I thought I'm over here. I'm thinking like, yo, I think I'm a good movie watcher, and here he
Yeah.
goes, just raining down insults about how crappy of a movie watcher I am. But here he goes, Deadpool and
Insults.
Wolverine.
Yeah, this one would have been great for you. You might have actually livened up the theater. So yeah, I'm mad that you missed this one. It's just, bro. The same way you would be in this movie is the same way you would be in like a drama, and I can't do that. I just can't. I can't. Um,
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I'm the same way across the board with movies. It's true. Even in the drama joints, it's
yeah,
especially if
you'd
it
be
don't make
like,
sense. I'm gonna be like, yo, what?
yeah, exactly, exactly. It's like, but didn't you walk into the room to tell him that already? It's like, yo, shut up, man. What in the world?
Yeah, make it
Yes,
make
we're all
sense.
thinking that. We're all thinking that, but please let it be in our minds.
Make it make sense. That's all I'm
Yeah,
trying to say.
yeah, nah, and it's not just you. There's definitely one other individual that I refuse to go to another movie with, also. So, uh, and you know the person too.
I know.
So they might be worse than you. Um, but yeah, so Nerdy Rhythm, check that out. But why don't we get into the topics for tonight?
Yes, sir.
Um, to start off, we are going to let me share this here. Give me 1 second. All right, let me know if you see this, Martin. Well, actually, I'll see if you see it. Um, okay, boom. All right, so this, I was thinking about it, Martin. These slides might end up equaling like kind of multiple clips,
Okay.
because it kind of goes into different aspects of the conversation. The same thing for the following one later on. But we'll get into this right now. So Hollywood Unlocked reports this: Cardi B slams Donald Trump as he continues to promise federal immunity to police officers despite outrage over Sonya Massey murder. Quote, after watching her get killed in 4K. Um, uh, so, so, yeah, so let's look through here. Cardi B, um, well, actually, we could read a bit of this here. Bronx rapper Cardi B is again blasted former President Donald Trump as he now continues to promise federal immunity for all police officers, despite continued outrage over Sonya Massey being recently murdered by police in her own home in Illinois. Um, I won't read the rest of this, but it seems like he. Oh, okay. So, yeah, this was just this past Saturday, the 27th. Yesterday. Wow. So let's take a look at some of these things.
To police so they can do their job. I'm giving federal immunity to police officers so they can do their job. That we're going to give immunity to police so they can do their job. I'm giving.
And then you can see after watching Sonya Massey get killed in 4K, just wow, he never changed. Um, yeah, federal immunity to police officers. Um, I believe later on he even says federal agents. So, which I think would include
Immunity
FBI
to
now.
police.
But let's see
Yeah,
in the
whenever I
slide
think
here.
federal agents, I think FBI.
Right, yeah, that's what I was thinking too. But um but in here he specifically says
That we're
police.
going to give immunity to police so they can do their job.
Yeah.
I'm giving
So
federal
even local
immunity to
police.
police.
So even local police is supposed to be getting this. Um so she, comments with people and stuff like that, going back and forth on this. But he's talking about like immunity is just going everywhere now. Like it's just like Oprah, you get immunity, you get immunity. Everyone, like the Supreme Court announced that presidents are have immunity and can't get charged, and then you turn around now and give now this former president, possibly next president, is saying I'm going to give immunity to just everybody. Everybody's getting immunity.
I'm also going to indemnify all police officers and law enforcement officials throughout the United States to protect them from being destroyed by the radical left people in office that want them to be hurt, that don't want them to look for crime and stop crime. They can stop crime so fast, but they're told not to. They're told to
Picking
stand
up crime so fast.
out of department stores that end up going out of business. And we're going to protect those officers and those precincts, and in some cases, the states. Because you can stop that whole phenomenon where they walk into 300 guys run into a department store and they loot it. And it's like literally, there's not a thing on the shelves. They take millions and millions of dollars out. And inevitably, they close the stores. They're closing stores all over the country. You can stop that in 1 day, in 1 hour, if you got really nasty and really tough. Once they see things happening that they never thought were going to happen to them, and I mean tough, it'll all stop overnight. There won't be any more. And your police would love to be the ones that do it, but
He
they're not
does it
allowed.
in
They
sight
don't want to lose their
violence.
homes and their families. They don't want to lose their pensions. I'm also going to indemnify.
Some of the things that were written here. So the president has complete immunity from crimes committed while in office, and police get special protections from liability in Trump's world. Sounds a tad authoritarian. Dude, this is hold on. I think there's actually one more. Yeah.
Mayors don't back them. We have to get law and order back. These are the best people in the world. They will know. The sheriff's behind me, and this is in all states. Somebody said, how will you get these criminals out? I say the sheriffs, the police officers, the police, law enforcement in their local communities, they know every bad kid. They know every bad person. They know their first name, their middle name. They know their phone numbers. They have their cell phones. They have everything about them. They know exactly what to do and how to do it. These guys know exactly what I'm talking about, but we have to let them do their job. And we're going to work out a federal immunity for police so they're allowed to do their job without losing their house and their pension and everything else when the liberal governors and mayors don't back them. We have to get the law and order.
Yo, it's kind of crazy. Like on the last slide, Momi was like, they're taking millions of dollars, like on some, uh, like dog, like people are not. This happened like once or twice, like a year or two ago. He's acting like this is something that's going on every single day. Like,
Yeah.
and cats isn't out here stealing, robbing from the Apple store or something like that. Like, this is not like it's walking out with millions of dollars and then talking about like they have these police apparently have their names, their phone numbers, they know their friends, they know their blood type, they have their social security. Like, it's like why do they have that much information on these people? Like you saying that they know all these bad people, these kids. I feel like that was a slip of the tongue there when he said these kids. That's scary. That's weird. Um, it's just I don't I think that's the last one, and then
I personally
yeah,
think that I don't think anything anymore is a slip of the tongue with Trump. I think now it's just he uses buzzwords just like any other businessman or whatever. He's using buzzwords to attract the people that is thinking what he's saying. You know what I mean? So yeah, I don't know. He's saying some wild stuff, but it's wild for us. But for the people who he's really trying to attract, is not really that wild.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. It's kind of like what Kano said a few weeks ago, where when he talks, they see themselves in him. You know, it's kind of like it's really very much so like that. Um, it's and it's really, yeah. I guess it is all Kano said. Kano, what up? Good thing we don't got to vote in 4 years if he wins. Yeah, yeah, that troublesome voting. We won't have to do that anymore. Which I believe. I think we're gonna. I think that's in one of the slides that we're gonna be going through. Um, so we're gonna let me just see if there's anything
Shout
else
out to
here.
Vicky. Good to see you on the chat. Good evening. Good evening, Kano. Good evening, Vicky.
Vicky, what up? Listen, for any of y'all who don't know, we have a new channel. It's called CFP Lives. Um, so if you could even find it on our IG page, the link and stuff like that. We're going live from both pages tonight because we wanted to grab in some of the old audience that may not know we have a new page that we go live from. It's just a protection of the algorithm we're trying to do. All right, so um, Cardi B says here, I understand that I understand, but you need to understand how I felt when I just don't want to support nobody at all when both was doing things I don't agree on. Kamala said what I wanted to hear. Kamala said what I wanted to hear, a ceasefire, and that's why I'm supporting. I was not going to support Biden, neither Trump. Right. So um, Kamala won over Cardi B's vote because she wasn't voting. When it's Biden or Trump, she wasn't voting at all. That just was her. But being that Kamala is talking about a ceasefire and she met with Bibi not Netanyahu recently. So yeah, so she's winning her over, but rightfully so. This is yeah, so this was in May. She wasn't gonna vote for anyone because nobody's caring about it. So before we get into this part right here, let me know, what do you think about all of this here? There's a lot that he's saying when it comes down to immunity. This dude's passing off immunity like candy to everybody. Um, for me, this is probably one of the most terrifying things that I've heard in a while. Like, yeah, I was always concerned about Project 2025. And you already know because we've talked, behind the scenes about the fact that I'm having trouble knowing whether or not, how serious to take Project 2025 at that time. I do now, but at that time, it seemed like it could be very, fear-mongering type of stuff. When
Mm-hmm.
I hear from the guy who's gonna be in office and have all the power, when I hear from him, yeah, I'm giving immunity to federal agents. I'm giving immunity to police officers, right? That when I hear it from him, that terrifies me. That absolutely terrifies me because it's basically a promise. He's essentially promising that this is what he's going to do. He's putting his cards on the table. And in my mind, if this is what he's going to do and he's telling you publicly, imagine what he has planned in the back of his mind that he's not telling you. You know? That is like, I was thinking about it today and literally having, like, my anxiety levels were raising
Mm-hmm.
because for example, real quick, Cardi B brings up the Sonya Massey case, and we're going to discuss more about that soon. She brings up the Sonya Massey case. That cop that shot Sonya Massey, right? Imagine someone like him has immunity.
Yep.
because this is a dude that is unhinged. This is a dude that is so like the fact that he has power, the fact that we've given him a gun and a badge and authority. Meanwhile, he's shown himself to he went from to multiple precincts. He like all of these things and just his attitude and all that. You could just sense all that from that footage, that body cam footage. Like the attitude this man had. Now tell him he has immunity. So now anything he says is a reason to let off shots. Like a woman having a pot of water 50 feet away from him. Oh, would she got to go down. What does that mean when federal agents and police officers are in? You got them in your pocket, and they're essentially
And they can run
your
amok.
law. Yeah, they could run amok,
It could be a
and
real
they're
gang for real.
right. There's gonna be a real It's gang mentality, bro. That's what it turns into, because now they become his like personal police as well, because they're 100% gonna support him. They're 100% gonna back him and watch police shootings, beatings, wrongful arrests. All of these things are gonna skyrocket, and there's nothing anyone can do about it because they have immunity. They are literally above the law, people in power. What is that telling people like us? Dude, it terrifies me, man. So, yeah, I'm sorry, but I know I went long there, but yeah.
Oh man, I think I agree with wholeheartedly everything that you're saying right now. Just imagining it being kind of like the Wild Wild West right now. You got people, you got cops that are just here for the money. And I say this, like, when it comes down to public servitude, being a public servant, um, you really got to think about the people more than yourself, no matter how much money that you're getting. And I look at and I don't know what they categorize cops as, but I look at them as civil as not civil service, but as public servants. They are here to serve the public, to serve the people. Um, of course, they're also there to enforce and protect the law.
Mm,
But in doing that, you gotta be a person that is able to talk with people, be able to chat with people. And if you're only here for the money and you have implicit biases and you have struggles with seeing people as people and not anything less or higher than higher, yeah, you know what I mean? Like that is a very scary thought. Like, you don't care about that. I could just kill you right here, right now, and not think about that, or think about that, and it just gets easier with each time because like, you don't got to go through all the necessary stuff to de-escalate a situation anymore because you're fully protected. So if you feel like I don't feel like going through this, either you get in these handcuffs or you're done. You know what I'm saying? Um, I don't know. I don't know if I don't know if how what's the extent of this immunity. There may be some different things, but just the fact that Trump has not Trump, but the Supreme Court passed that whole thing about um, presidential immunity. So like the president can do whatever they want, no matter what the situation may be. That's wild to me, bro. Because it just makes it even more easier for them to clear this bill if it does come into office. So it's crazy to me, bro, that this is the situation that we're in, and we still want to vote. Like, conservatives, I get it. He clings. You cling to the traditions. You feel like Trump represents that in some way, shape, or form. I don't know how, but this, like, he represents that for you. Created the slogan "Make America Great Again." Are we sure? Like, are you sure you cool with the fact that that cops can have immunity now and do things that they would have thought twice to do, but now they don't have to? Like, I
Like
mean, just think about
respecting
that.
your humanity. Like,
Yeah, like think about that. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's weird, bro. Like, I don't know, but yeah, I'm off my soapbox with that. I really just think that's a wild thought. And for people that's gonna be in the comments like, oh, you don't know what you're talking about. You're right. I'm not I don't know. I don't have a copy of this bill that he wants to pass if he becomes president. I don't have like the ins and outs of it, but Trump is making this one of the forefront points of his campaign. Like, he's going out here, he got
mm,
cops behind him.
yeah,
Like, this is
yeah. He's
like,
for the statement. He's got police behind him.
for the average regular voter, we're gonna assume that it's gonna be quite easy for him to give these
Sorry.
guys
You give
immunity.
come around.
Come on, man. I don't know, but I'm off my soapbox with that. That joint crazy to me.
My fault. I thought I was on mute. I was speaking to Andrew quick. But yeah, let me ask you this question because this is something that is do you think that say he gets into office,
Mm-hmm.
say he ends up passing this immunity thing, how do you think this goes down? Like that bill goes and we see in the news it's been passed. Federal agents and police now have immunity in this country under Trump. What which is crazy because how is that even like how is that even possible? But under his Supreme Court, which he has immunity for, um, he can do this now. But what do you think is the reaction of people? What do you like? Do you think it ends up being in protest? Do you think it ends up being like what? Because that's a situation, bro. Like I don't think we just pass by that like normal news. I think actually there's even more of an uproar or a reaction from normal people than even the what the Supreme Court ruling was. But I don't know. Yeah, like what do you how do you foresee it going down? And then we'll move
Um,
on to the next topic.
Great question. I think uh civil unrest for sure. I feel like it's gonna be crazy. I feel like it's gonna be wild. I feel like I mean, if you really want me to be on the conspiracy theory tip, I feel like this is just a way to exterminate black people. I'm gonna be honest with that. Maybe I shouldn't have said that. I want to block it out, put it out take it out for the clip. But I feel like that's the truth. I feel like this is a way to get rid of people. And one thing, and what sparks this idea was this video from Torre that I saw. If you guys don't know who Torre is, he's a journalist, a black journalist that has interviewed many of people in the world of music, but also in the world of politics as well. And one of the things he said is that um, the reason why um, Republicans are getting at Harris, because of using the racist narrative, is because the 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 amount of white people in America is getting smaller. The percentage is getting smaller. At one point, it was at 82%. Then it went down to 70, like in the 70s. Now it's literally in the 50s, like the mid 50%. While people of color are now kind of eclipsing white people. And at this point, and it's funny that he bring this up around the eve of Project 2025. he's bringing this up on the eve of Trump now talking about how he's going to do all of these things and get immunity for federal agents and for police officers. Like, stuff like this is happening because there's a fear that they're about to become obsolete, and people of color will be the stronger force in this society. And it scares them to a point where we wouldn't be surprised if they try to done us off. You know what I'm saying? So it could be that way, but that's my conspiracy theory talking. If I'm being chill and regular, whatever, I think it's going to be. I think there's going to be civil unrest. There will be a lot of protests. There will be a lot of fighting against this. People are not going to take this lightly, especially if a cop goes on and does another Sonya Massey during this time. I don't see it ending well. I don't see it just being peaceful protests outside of the court, and then a cop gets a slap on the wrist, or a cop gets to go to jail. Like that whole system needs to be shut down, and that's how I see it.
That's crazy. Yeah, it's.
You sound far away.
I'll do it. Hello.
Yeah, there we go.
Okay. Do I need to turn it up or is good?
Turn it up a little bit.
A little bit. Check, check.
That's good.
Okay, okay. Yeah, I switched over headphones, so um, yeah, so that might be the reason why. Um, um, okay, so I agree with you. I think that I think the only other thing I'll say is that the situation also where we start taking seriously getting out of here. You know what I mean? Like, I've always wondered that. Um but I've never been sure about it, you know what I mean? Um so yeah, I do. I've always wondered that, and I think that this is going to be that situation where you might see, if they allow us to leave. Like, that's how crazy this gets, bro. Anyway, it's just terrifying to me. It's a reality I don't want to see. Um, so another thing that Cardi B said. Let me pull this up real quick. Okay. All right. So this is another thing that Trump said. Cardi B reacts to Trump telling crowd, "You won't have to vote again after the election."
Whew.
Let me turn off.
Nah, that one was a doozy.
Yeah.
When he said that, I mean, like, look, go ahead.
Yeah. Let me turn off the audio here.
Don't back them. We have to get law and order
Can you
back.
hear it?
These are the best people in the
Yeah.
world. They will know. The sheriff's behind me, and
Oh,
this
give
is
me
in
1
all
second.
states.
No, hold on.
Somebody said, "How will you get these criminals out?"
Oh my goodness.
I say the sheriff, the police officers. Again, Christians, get out and vote just this time. You won't have to do it anymore. 4 more years. You know what? It'll be fixed. It'll be fine. You won't have to vote anymore, my beautiful Christians. I love you, Christians. I'm a Christian. I love you. Get out. You got to get out and vote. In 4 years, you don't have to vote again. We'll have it fixed so good you're not going to have to vote. And again, Christians, get out and vote
That
just this time.
is, yeah, man. Yeah. I'll let you take lead on the well, not take lead, but if you would like to give the first because I know you said you started speaking already, so please continue. What are your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, this joint is a doozy, man. Like this joint, if it's real, that joint crazy. That's authoritarianism right there. That's dictatorship right there. That's you know, yo, I mean, like, yo, the true conservatives, true Republicans. I'm talking to y'all, like, because I know there's some anti-Trump Republicans out there, but I'm speaking of ones that are pro-Trump Republicans. Like, y'all, y'all really okay with this? Y'all was really fighting about these about voting regulations and all types of other like. Y'all really okay with this idea? and
Dude.
and don't get me wrong, maybe it was a slip of the tongue. Maybe I mean, I don't think Trump makes these kinds of mistakes anymore. I'm almost gonna have his word be gospel sometimes. Like I feel like he really does believe the things that he says and that he's really doing it. I feel like he put these buzzwords out there to attract a certain group of people. There are a certain demographic of people that want nobody but Trump. They think Trump is the
Yeah.
only one to like. They look at this man as synonymous with God. Even I will go that far to say like they look at this man as a whole deity. You know what I'm saying? Like they think that he is the savior for this country, and he should be sitting there. They think that the bullet that went past his ear is a divine intervention. It was divinity, and it was and like God was protecting him because he's the one. My man is Neo from the Matrix. You know what I'm saying? Like people really do believe and put stock into this man. You know, and he be saying some wild stuff, and that's one of them. That's one of the wild things he be saying. And, like he
Yeah.
says, you don't gotta ever vote again. Maybe he might have made a mistake. Maybe he's saying like you won't regret we won't regret it again. Maybe he's trying to say something around
Right.
those lines, like
I was
regret. Maybe that's what it is. But I don't know. My man said it twice in this video. He said it twice. Like you will never have to vote again. You will never have to vote again. So I don't know, man. I think my man's trying to say something.
yeah. Yeah, I agree. It's something that I'm like I did wonder, are we reading something into it? Was he just essentially saying that, was he speaking in like hyperbole? Like was he making exaggerated statements here where just like, yeah, you won't have to vote again because everything's gonna be great, like that type of thing, like
Yeah, you won't ever waste your vote again. Your vote for me, that's not a waste. Maybe
yeah,
that's what he's saying, but
but
he said it twice, bro. He said it a lot in this video.
yeah, because the thing is, even when I think of that, I'm like, I I just don't know. Because even if I think of that, it's like, but why wouldn't you have to vote again in 4 years? Something else that someone's brought up was a change uh, that he could be essentially hinting at a change in the Constitution where he can continue to be president for another 4 years. You
A
know what I mean?
loophole.
Much like, um, was it Giuliani? No, it was Bloomberg, I believe, was able to change the law in New York. He reached his limit and he was able to change the law so that he stayed another term. And he was able to make his case that he's working on things essentially and he's got to stay in office, that type of thing.
Wow.
So I wonder, You know what I mean? What are you hinting at? You know what I mean? It's really terrifying. Kano here said, I get frustrated when people say what will Harris do for black and brown.
Oh, your mic went off, bro.
Oh, it did? Hello?
Keep talking.
Check, check. Hello, hello, hello.
Yeah, that's better. I don't know what happened, but I didn't hear a word of what you said for a couple of seconds there.
I have to change everything here. This is crazy. Um, Yeah, Kano said, I get frustrated when people say, what will Harris do for black and brown people? She gets blamed for a racist prison industrial complex. For a racist prison industrial complex that has existed for the last few decades across all 50 states. Meanwhile, not voting for her, you're going to put people in office who celebrate that racist prison industrial complex. Every person of color should be voting for Harris. So, yeah, this is a very troubling type of situation. It's very troubling statements that we're getting also. And it just makes me worried. It makes me worried. I've never been more afraid of a Trump presidency. And I know people uh who who basically look at me like I'm crazy for saying that I'm going for Harris. It's like, are you serious? Like the reactions, and it becomes a situation where you really can't talk much about it with even people who are Trump supporters that you might consider like a friend or a family member, things like that, because there there is there generally are no facts. It's generally they're basically often spewing the same thing that he says, and for me it leaves me in a very hopeless type of situation. I said to a friend the other day, I was like, yo, I hope we could still be cool when the civil war comes. um I hope me and you will be all right when that happens. So yeah, dude, I'm just terrified of all these things. And the crazy thing is, you'll talk to regular everyday people, and they'll fully support everything he's saying and doing. Man could do no wrong. So
Like I'm just saying, analyze. Or all right, for instance, if let's say you got the inside scoop of what Trump is saying right now, right? All right, cool. First of all, share it with us so we all can understand what's the inside scoop of what he's saying. Because obviously, we're not reading in between the lines right now, but you can. So let us know. And number two, if you don't, and you truly don't, can we analyze a little bit of what he's saying? Can you really be mad at people who, for instance, are kind of like me, who's just getting into politics and trying to understand the ins and outs of it, and what to trust and what not to trust, right? Like, can you blame me for thinking that like what he said is what he means? Like, and that is the real issue of Trump as president.
yeah,
That's the biggest issue with it, is that, all right, maybe you know, but we don't know, because what we see is very opposite to what you see. Or and if it's not opposite, maybe you believe what he says, and we just on two different levels right now. We're in two different spectrums, but you call my views crazy and stupid and asinine and horrible. But the man just said something that, no, I don't think any president has ever really said. They may have alluded to it, but they have never outright said it with such confidence and vigor, like, another 4 more years. You don't have to, you don't have to wait 4 more years, because I'm gonna be like it, like as if he's going to be the president forever.
yeah,
And that's wild. Or like when he dies, and that's wild to me, bro. Like, where are we with this? You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. That's just something that just bear with us when we're trying to understand the situation as Republican, and then like try to find a middle ground somewhere in that, because we're not dumb to just listen to what he says and just believe it. You wanted us to read in between the lines when he said about bleach and COVID. He
Yeah.
said drink bleach. And then you all got mad at us for saying, oh, you don't understand that he was just joking about the bleach thing and this, that, and the third. There's millions of people dying from COVID, and
Yeah.
he decides to make a joke. That's bad too.
Yo, and the crazy thing is, it was the most serious situation. Like, he's literally in a press conference when he said that. I remember that. He's asking like a doctor and stuff. He's literally in a press conference saying that. Then and on top of that, I always bring it back to the fact that this man knew what this virus was and how bad it was. It is documented, it is recorded. He said it himself, and it was put out there already. He knew what this virus was before it even got really, really bad. He could have instructed us. He could have done a lot, but instead, it's just a flu. It's just a flu. Don't worry, everyone's fine. It's China. Like, that's what he kept going on. But the fact is that, yo, you're commander in chief. It's your job to protect your people. You did not protect your people. You failed at doing that. You do not deserve the seat again. Off of that alone, I am not willing to vote for this man again. 100%, because you failed to protect us during the most critical time, and you could have saved lives if you would have opened your mouth about what you knew. But instead, you chose to do this a terrible way, and that is not fake. That is not fiction. It is recorded. It is documented. I heard the tapes myself. So it's, but it's always a spin, or I'm gonna ignore that. It's one or the other constantly with them. And
And it's
it
not.
was,
And can I say this? It's not just with Trump. It's every president.
yes,
I'll even go as far as to say even Obama. I feel like
yeah,
he kind of tiptoed around certain topics that involve black people. That, like, what happened to you? Why didn't you do so? I remember vividly. He was on the Breakfast Club, and Charlemagne and all of them asked the question about, yo, you didn't do anything for black people. And then he would be like, well, that's not true. Da, 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 da. And then, like, he kind of tiptoed around certain things with his finesse. And you know what I mean? Like, and
man,
whatever.
I'll speak.
So, and to me, that's my favorite president.
Yeah,
And not
same.
even not even because he's black. Dude is just an amazing president. Just off of optics alone, he spoke well. He showed that he actually cared about the American people. There are some policies that he put in where he actually cared about the people that I served in social services that I think still exists today, unless if somebody tried to take it out. You understand what I mean?
Yeah,
So and I can say the dude he's bombed kids, like
yeah,
Obama's bombed kids, and
yeah,
and hardly anybody really questions the fact that he's done that. You know
yeah,
what I mean? He's done horrible things. So it's both sides of the field. I'm
yeah,
just saying, like, yo, let's keep it a stack. Let's keep it a being, like, these guys lie and stuff like that. And then they do things that Trump be doing and say some wild off the wall stuff. And you don't expect us to question that?
yeah.
That's all I'm saying, bro.
The other thing though is we've never heard something like this. We have never, at the very least in our lifetime, we've never heard something like this. So we're in a situation that's very unprecedented, where you're talking about a dude that is saying that a dude that has been given immunity by the Supreme Court, a dude that's saying he's going to give federal agents and basically everyone with a badge is going to have immunity. And he's saying that you won't have to vote again in 4 years. We're going to have everything fixed. Like, this is very much so like when people tell you who they are, believe them type of thing. again, if he's willing to say this out loud, what is he planning in secret? You
Hmm.
know, that I can't sit here and then trust everything and then try and because you're right, both sides do this. You know, they run the game. Um and they sweep things under the rug. Rightfully so, even Obama, you know. I can say that in my lifetime Obama was my favorite president, but at the same time scrutinize things that I believe that he did were immoral, you know, at the same time. So that's okay. We can do that. But this is a situation where the person in power just got more power and he's going to give other people who have power over citizens even more power. What do we what does this look like, bro? Yo, Jimmy,
And he's gonna do that in
right,
perpetuity. He's gonna be there
right,
forever.
right. And he's good. Yeah, you won't have to vote again. This is the last time you're gonna vote. This is the last time we have to make a vote because now you're Putin. Is that what you're saying? Project 2025 in full effect now. That's a good. I'm glad Jimmy brought this up. Is this an aspect of Project 2025? I don't know. I wonder. I'm not sure if you do, Martin,
Um,
or anyone in the chat.
uh,
Do you know?
the what's scary is that whole immunity, the presidential immunity thing. That is part of Project 2025, giving control to um, the Republican candidate, and I mean, like he already we saw it go down. I think the majority of the Senate, like the seats in the Senate and all that stuff, is Republican even right now. I think the Supreme Court judges are all Republican. So
Not
we're
not all, but I think the majority
right
are
there, the majority.
and
But I
we're
feel
putting
like that's the end goal is to have like across the board all of them.
yeah,
Um,
I
so
can
and
see
he's
that.
pretty close to doing that, and they already passed the as far as I know, it went to the Supreme Court and they passed it where the president can have full immunity of whatever things he
Yeah,
wants to do while he's
yeah,
in office. So all we need is Trump to be in office, and he could have the power to kind of erase certain things and get through certain loopholes to make sure he gets another 4 years, then another 4 years, then another 4 years, and another 4 years. As many four
yeah.
years as he wants.
I could see that happening because he can end up being getting that passed in the Supreme Court, just like Bloomberg did. You know, Bloomberg got extra time as mayor. Now Trump can get this passed in court where he's making a case that he needs another 4 years, and that's just the beginning of the end. That is the beginning of the end. Um,
How scary, huh?
I wonder if giving the federal agents and the police immunity also is part of Project 2025. I wonder that. In the chat, if you know, let us know if that's also part of Project 2025. Anyway, we got to move on. Uh I'm scared. I'm scared. I've become I've become terrified. And I
Um,
I don't know how else to say this, dude. Like I just had this thing in my head where it's like I hear that announcement that day that Trump is getting extended another 4 years, and he just gave immunity to federal agents and police officers, and he has immunity. I'm piecing all this together, and I need to have a backup plan. I have to. I have to be able to get out of here immediately.
yeah,
I
I need
can't.
a I
If
need a
that
crib,
happens,
bro.
yo, if that
In a different
happens
country.
yeah, in all seriousness, if that happens, I have to get out of here. Um, oh, man. Anyway, let's move on. So, so Trump was talking to Christians in that event, right?
Hmm.
Now, Christians got to get out there and vote. You won't have to vote again, Christians. Let's also talk about something that, that made the Christians happy. At least the ones he was speaking to. This makes the Christians mad.
And that's
So,
and it just emboldens Trump, if you ask
yeah.
me. But continue.
Oh, this 100%, 100%. Look at the woke mob. Look at the liberals in Paris. Look at what they did. Christians vote for me. They don't care about your Jesus, I mean. All right. So, 2024 Paris Olympics officials apologize for Last Supper parody at opening ceremony. There was never, quote, there was never an intention to show disrespect to any religious group. I'll just read the top part over here. The organizers of the 2024 Paris Olympics are apologizing after angering a lot of Catholics and other Christian groups with their Last Supper parody skit, which was shown during the opening ceremony on Friday evening, July 26th. And basically, this is what you see. Oh, excuse me. This is what you see. This is also right here. People started getting angry because they had a child there too. This is supposed to be imitating the or it's allegedly imitating the Last Supper,
Which
with
is the painting.
which is
Last
the
Supper
painting.
painting.
Yeah, from I believe Da Vinci.
Yeah.
Um, and yeah, a lot of people were in outrage over this. Let's take a look, a bit of more look.
Was never an intention to show disrespect to any religious group. On the contrary, I think that Thomas Joly really tried to really intend to celebrate community tolerance. That was his word yesterday. And looking at the result of the polls that we shared, we believe that this ambition was achieved. If people have taken any offense, we are, of course, really, really sorry.
It was a ceremony like no other, and those are games like no other. I think that our hosts, it's easy for me to say, and we should all be grateful and thankful, they have put together a vision for these games, which is unprecedented. It's an incredible vision for a games. We're trying to showcase that in the best possible way.
Mais notre intention n'a jamais été d'être impertinent ou d'être subversif, comme je l'ai dit tout à l'heure.
And clearly, there was never an intention to show disrespect to.
Notre idée, c'est simplement que oui, dans cette grande diversité, il y a besoin d'être conjointement. Nous avons en tout cas voulu nous conjointement inclure tout le monde. Voilà. En France, la création artistique est libre. C'est le premier article de la loi sur la liberté de création. J'en profite comme d'autres libertés en France, dans ce pays. On a la chance de ça. Il n'y avait pas de volonté pour moi de passer de messages plus, militants. C'était simplement des messages républicains. En France, on a le droit de s'aimer comme on veut, avec qui on veut. En France, on a le droit de croire ou de ne pas croire. En France, on a le droit, on a beaucoup de droits, voilà. Et c'était l'idée de faire transparaître ces valeurs-là à travers la cérémonie. Notre idée, c'est simplement que oui.
We reached out to Ceasefire. The president doubled down on their decision to part ways with the Olympics.
Well, I love Lady Gaga and Celine Dion, but I thought it was very disrespectful and sacrilegious.
Mississippians are responding to the Paris Olympics open ceremony, the ceremony not only getting backlash from viewers, but also local companies. Ceasefire went to social media announcing that they are pulling advertising from the Olympics, the technology company feeling like the sporting event made a mockery of the Last Supper.
I think that's a great idea.
Some believe a portion of the Olympic Open was emulating the final meal Jesus shared with his disciples before his crucifixion, saying what they saw during the performance does not align with Christian values at all.
I think it's just indicative of how the people tend to criticize the Christians religion rather than any other religion. It wouldn't have flown if it had been against the Muslim religion.
We reached out to
Or another religion.
I thought it was great. I've been to France a couple times.
Others feel the open ceremony is being misunderstood and has nothing to do with Christianity.
There's confusion over the Greek representation that was meant by that piece. So probably just checking in a little bit more about the cultural piece that was being pulled into that. But I don't think that it was pulling in the Italian Last Supper art at all.
We reached out to Ceasefire, the president and CEO, Susie Hayes, saying Ceasefire is supportive of our athletes who have worked so hard to be a part of the Olympics. However, we will not be a part of the offensive and unacceptable mockery of the Last Supper, which is why we're pulling our advertising from the Olympics. Governor Tate Reeves also went to Twitter standing in full support of Ceasefire's decision, saying, "I am proud to see the private sector in Mississippi step up and put their foot down. God will not be mocked."
Religion or another religion.
All right, and then, Greg Abbott says we're educating students about Leonardo da Vinci's The Last Supper, saying that they're not doing what Paris Olympics did. The 2024 Paris Olympics has gone full woke dystopian. This is Kyle Becker. The opening ceremony was filled with transgender mockery of the Last Supper, the golden calf idol, which over here you can see they're saying that's the golden calf idol.
Oh wow!
And even the pale horse from the Book of Revelation, right there.
Oh
wow! The Olympics has made it clear that Christian viewers aren't welcome. Colin Rugg, the Paris Olympics is under fire for including a child in their hypersexualized, blasphemous rendition of the Last Supper. The parent child could be seen joining the drag queens during the performance. Instead of bringing people together, the planners of the event apparently wanted to mock the religion of 2.4 billion people. So yeah, that's the child right there.
Who's the child supposed to be?
I don't know.
Oh,
okay. The thing is, I looked at this. They're not taking the exact poses of here. So I don't know who this child is supposed to be. Unless she's supposed to be this dude with his hands up. I don't know.
I'm like, what's the creative? What was the creativity behind the child being one of the particular disciples?
Yeah,
it's just kind of weird.
I don't know why y'all let that Olympic Last Supper photo trigger y'all. That was the exact response they wanted. You fell for it. Evil feeds off negativity. That's how they grow. You will never beat them by playing that game. The best antidote for it is to not react. It takes away all their power. All right, so yeah.
Another religion.
Notre idée, c'est simplement.
Sorry. Just gonna put it on this picture here. What are your thoughts? This is didn't expect this one,
I have a lot of complexities to this, a lot of complex thoughts. I guess I'll just start with emulating the Last Supper. Yeah, I guess for what it represents, I could see why Christians were upset. Y'all know that the rendition of the Last Supper, it's only a painting. It's not scriptural. It's not biblical. Nothing in the Bible kind of shows this painting. There was a Last Supper for sure. And This was just Leonardo da Vinci's interpretation of that. Like, I guess he might have read the scripture, or he might have felt some type of way. I know that he was very passionate about church and things about that. So, I mean, yeah, I feel like kind of, and you know, it's crazy. We were I was at church today, and Tranquil brought this up subliminally in the message today. This whole situation is like we need to have an answer for this, having the truth for this. And I feel like my truth is this like it's going to come back in some way, shape, or form in a good way for God. This is I'm not going to say that this is wrong or right or whatever the case may be. This sounded and it's what it sounded like to me was that they weren't trying to offend anybody. But for Christians to kind of like people trying to pull advertisement of the Olympics, like that's gonna do something. It's the Olympics, y'all. Like people gonna my father watches the Olympics all the time. He I asked him, I said, did you see the this part of the thing? He said, yeah. And I was like, so what did you think about it? And he was like, I don't know. And and I was like, okay. But did you know that there were drag queens? He was like, oh, you know, there's something I ain't really like about that. Yeah, you know. And so there was something about that thing, you know. There was something about it that I wasn't really feeling. But that ain't gonna stop the man from watching the Olympics. You gonna watch it. We was watching the swimming thing. I told him all about it, and then we ended up watching swimming, like the 400 meter. It don't. I feel like it don't stop nothing, but it don't stop nothing but the movement. Uh, you know what I mean? Like you don't stand with it. You don't stand with it. But this painting, I don't know. I just, or maybe maybe I just feel like people are wilding out with it. And I feel like they said so. I forgot they said something that alluded to the fact that these people are horrible for whatever reason. And I'm like, you don't know any of these people, man. Like you don't know any of these people. You don't know why they do what they do, and what's the reason behind what they do. Um, you don't even know if Leonardo da Vinci was here right now and he was sitting down, he saw this. Would he be like, oh, what a great rendition of my version of this painting? You know, I don't know. Um, Whatever it is whatever it is. I guess I don't have much to say about it outside of the fact that I don't watch the Olympics. I guess I don't know. Like what Celine Dion did a great job, y'all. She thought she was sick. She thought she was gonna die, and then she murdered her performance.
She thought she would die. She ended up killing the performance.
Yeah, yo, like hats off to Celine Dion. I mean, I don't know, boy. Like I don't know,
Yeah.
and this coming from a Christian. Like I don't. That's a it's a very weird it's a very weird stance to take. Sonya Massey just died by a horrible death from a cop. We need to do peaceful protests. We need to do peaceful protests for her. I haven't heard any religious communities coming out for her for her respect, for her love, to pay respects in any way, shape, or form. But y'all mad about this painting from the that they try to emulate us on the Olympics. Like, where your priorities at, bro? Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
That's where I'm at with it.
Yeah, it's tough for me too because I do like get what Jimmy's saying here. Like, why would they think this was a good idea? You wouldn't do that and to any other religious uh
Image.
image or momentum or momentum. Um, I so yeah,
I think he meant monument.
oh, there you go. Yep, image or a monument. Okay. Um, and here's the thing. I do think there's an aspect of that that's true. I do think that a good amount of other religions you wouldn't touch that, you know, with a 39.5 foot pole, to quote the Grinch song. I you know, I just I don't. You wouldn't see that. There would be more of, and I don't know why that is. You know, um, I could even understand why, some people, whether it be in the transgender community, LGBTQ, all of that would um, do a parody of something like this because it, for personal reasons, um, because they feel like this is something that is um they might feel like this is something that is that demonizes them. you know they may feel hurt, and all of it, and have been treated terribly because people have used scripture to justify doing so to them. So something that they don't believe and that they feel is against them, yeah, I could see you turning that into a parody. I could see you turning that into something. Um, but I do know that you don't really see this in other religions. I do think that that's probably because Christianity is the dominating religion in general in the world, even though that is changing. Um, but yeah, I just it's so I guess that's why it gets those shots. Now, I do wonder this whole aspect of, they weren't trying to imitate the Italian, Leonardo da Vinci's thing. This was a Greek interpretation of either something else, or I don't know if it was the Last Supper or whatever, but I remember the lady in the video mentioned a Greek interpretation. I wonder if there's more to this. I don't know. I don't exactly know. I will say if their intention was to be, and they said that it wasn't, and Paris is a very different place. They made sure in those speeches to acknowledge that
Yep.
we have certain freedoms. you know we are free to be whoever we want, believe whatever we want, and not believe. Like, we have certain freedoms. We are not, like, I really do
Well,
think
we're
we
here in Mississippi.
yeah.
I'm sorry.
Ah, but out here in Mississippi,
All y'all Frenchies over there. I'm sorry.
gonna stomp on your croissants. All right. Like, yeah, so it's they were distinguishing themselves, to us, I believe. Um, so it might not be that big of a deal over there, you know. So you're talking about two different cultures as well. So I just feel like there can be more to this. I don't know about jumping to conclusions on it. If there was an intent to be negative or disrespectful or anything like that, um, then yeah, I do think I do feel like this shouldn't have been done, But if there's more to this, then I feel like that should be considered before people, come
And
to
we're calling it a
conclusions.
parody when they're calling it an interpretation
Right. They're talking about an inclusive
or a
interpretation.
rendition.
Yeah.
So that's different. So, like, it's different. It's different with this. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
But yeah, and I also agree too. Like, if your intention, I guess it all depends on the intent. If
Yeah.
your intention was to be disrespectful, then there's something that we got to talk about. But if your intention was to not be disrespectful, then you know, what's really good. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah, I do. I just feel like there's a possibility that there's more to this. And too often I feel like Christians have jumped to crazy conclusions with things that
Like, there's so many other things. There's so many other injustices in the world. There's so many other situations, and y'all just like standing 10 toes down on these negative situations. There's other negative situations that happens in this world where they need Jesus. They need Jesus. They need to know the gospel, and we decide to sit in it, to stew in it, and just say, hey, I'm mad. So let me just retract, and I'm gonna do this for the Lord. You can't do one thing for the Lord here and do nothing for the Lord here. And he tells you this is what
Mm,
I want you to do specifically. Like, you know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Like, it doesn't make sense. Like, he does talk about shun evil, but what is evil about what this is? You know what I'm saying? Like, let's you don't even know any of these people's lives. Let's just keep it a stat. And once again, to just reiterate, it is Paris. It's not. It's not America. It's
right.
not. And if y'all
Yeah.
really, if y'all really was that live, if y'all really was about that life, y'all would be calling for the team to leave. But y'all want them. You want the medallions, bro. You want to get the gold.
That's a
Let's
good
keep it.
point.
Oh, stop! I don't want the advertising, but here we go. Here we go with the
Yeah.
we still got LeBron James out here chilling. We got Beyonce sponsor not sponsoring but introducing the Team USA. Come on,
Yeah.
y'all. Like, where's your priorities at? Stop playing with me. Start raising money to get rid of the USA team, and then I'll be like, all right, so y'all really out here.
Now y'all about it.
Now y'all about that life.
Yeah, I do feel like certain things could be taken out of account, like the picture of the bull, and it's like the golden calf. I don't know about this white horse thing. The pale horse. I do feel like in Christian circles, things that could be coincidence end up being reached for as justification, and you could do that with anything. You really can do that with anything and in any way. You could make something look like God or make something look like the devil, So I'm not saying it is, I'm not saying it isn't, I'm not saying it's intentional, I'm not saying it's not. I'm saying be careful, because you end up being that guy, and then you saying things like Kyle Becker, uh the opening ceremony was filled with transgender mockery, um where you just feel the hatred or the vileness that this person has for that community, and that should not be the case. um yeah, it's
Yeah.
so just be careful, y'all,
Not
because
and not trying to repeat what Joe's saying. I think that we need to lead. We need to speak the truth in love, and that's what the gospel is about. Is love. That's what Jesus is about. It's love. It's all about love, and for for you to pour out such vitriol to another community of people, it kind of loses the message. And that is what causes people to not like Christians. It's how you react to these situations is why people be looking at Christians like, yo, y'all fake, y'all contradictions, y'all this, y'all that. Um, because I thought you were supposed to love all people, but here you are not loving your neighbor. You know what I'm saying? So, um, what's good with that? Let's
yeah,
talk about that. Let's start there, um, and think about, like, here's the reasons why. Oh wow, they believe in this specific kind of art. Let's talk about the art. Let's talk about this like why this is difficult for us. You know what I'm saying? And let's find a common ground. That's what it was. I mean, Jesus did that with the Samaritan woman. He found common ground with her, made her see the truth in love, and was like, yo, I need to make a change in my life. This is what he did with with the with the leper. These are all stories that you see in the gospel. Not one of them did he say, "I'm going to walk away from you. I'm gonna I'm gonna stop advertising you." The only time he did that was when he made a whip. He took the time to make a whip and with the people in the synagogues. That's the only time you saw him going off on people. And I'm not sure why, but that has nothing to do with transgender people and not understanding why they do what they do, but still meet them with hate. That's crazy. He never met a single soul with hate. Anyway, I'm done. I'm off my soapbox. Let's move on, huh?
No, no, yeah. No, that was great. That was great. I did look up just to see if immunity for police and federal agents is part of the Project 2025. Um, it and it does not specifically address immunity for police and federal agents. Um, oh, excuse me, but it does include proposals related to law enforcement, so it might indirectly influence policies or reforms that could impact these protections. However, the specific details would need to be reviewed in the context of the project's actual recommendations and goals. So yeah, so we're essentially we're not sure. That was courtesy of Chat GPT. Um, we're not sure. It does talk about reforms and policies, so maybe that's an aspect of it. But yeah, I just wanted to share that because it was on my mind. All right, so move into the last one here. So, this is kind of multifaceted, I would say. In terms of topic, this is kind of multifaceted. So there's probably going to be multiple things we address here. So, Vice President Kamala Harris calls the family of Sonya Massey, speaks mostly with her son, offers heartfelt condolences, and says senseless killing must stop. Um, so the family of Sonya Massey reveals that Vice President Harris called them a call and offered her heartfelt condolences, while also claiming that senseless killing must stop. As we previously shared, Sonya Massey was a 36-year-old woman, unarmed, was a 36-year-old unarmed black woman in Illinois who called 911 to report a possible prowler and ended up fatally shot by Sangamon County Sheriff's Deputy Sean Grayson in her own home on July 6, 2024, just a few weeks ago. So, yeah, this here's Sonya Massey. This is her son. And you
And that's
see,
Kamala.
and that's kind of, yeah, I was like, maybe it's too serious of a time for me to make a joke, but I'll read a little bit of just like the quotes. Um, this is Sonya Massey's father is talking. It's made me feel a lot better today. She gave us her heartfelt condolences. He's obviously speaking about the phone call with Kamala that he had. She gave us her heartfelt condolences, and she let us know that she is with us 100%, that this senseless killing must stop. This is a cousin of Sonya Massey's. That call right there meant the world to my family right now. I mean, it definitely broke every last one of us down. Out of all phone calls, all the thousands and thousands of messages and phone calls and inboxes, this one here really meant the world to our family. Um, and I believe this is back to her father. It was her voice for me. It was just me being Shadia Massey, and I was able to speak with the Vice President of the United States for her to take time out of her busy schedule to make to just make that one little phone call to our family. That meant the world to me. That's the most amazing thing that's ever happened in my life.
Wow.
Um, and I'm sorry, this last statement was from Shadia, which is the cousin still. Um, she definitely has my vote. Uh, Shadia said at the end. Um, so yeah, I don't know. Should I keep reading this or
No, I think we get the point.
yeah?
Um,
This is a little
come
some of
on.
what Kamala said
Oh
about
yeah,
certain
I mean you
things.
can share. You can share like maybe a couple of words of what Kamala said.
Yeah, because actually this might be good context. So this shopping from she says, this shopping from job to job, we've got to do something about stopping these people from being able to go from one department to the next department, being passed around in order to save money by not sending people through the academy. He said of what Harris told him. You're allowed to resign from one department and then you get a job in the next department. And if that would stop, then my daughter would still be alive. This person should have never carried a badge and a gun. Never. So, yeah, it seems like he was paraphrasing some things that he was getting from Kamala, and that uh, and apparently Harris talked to the family about the need to pass the George Floyd Justice Policing Act, which would be a bill that would create federal registry of police officers and their records. So, yeah, so there's a lot more that is being said. Um, and yeah, this part I'm not too sure exactly what to make of it, but just to acknowledge it, um, this is this is obvious. This is the deputy who killed Sonya Massey, and this is Sonya Massey's son. And this update says the son says that officials refused to tell him who shot her. Deputy arrested in the case held six police jobs despite discharge from Army for serious misconduct. So that was him. He had a discharge from the Army for serious misconduct and held six police jobs. And that was within a 4-year period since 2020. He's been at six different, um, like, I guess, police stations, like transferred around. Um, and in the army discharge. That's crazy. So
Dishonorable discharge.
right, essentially. Um, so should we hear this? It
Yeah,
wasn't. We didn't really get much from it.
yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Okay.
They didn't tell me who. They were just saying somebody. They never would tell me who. They just kept on saying someone shot her. They would never tell me who shot my mom though. So, and I think I was the first person to find it out too. I had to go tell my grandma myself. That's all I can say.
And you kept asking who.
Yeah, they wouldn't tell me at all. Well, they told me. Well, I got a call from the hospital. Actually, I never got a call from the police or whatever. But they told me that my mom, she had got shot in the eye, and it came out her neck. And they didn't tell me who. They were just saying somebody. They never would tell me
Oh
who.
my gosh.
They just kept on saying someone shot her. They would never tell me who shot my mom though. So
So yeah, apparently he didn't find out who it was until later. Maybe likely because they were trying to. I feel like this could allude to the fact that they were trying to hide that it was Sean Grayson that
Right,
shot her.
right.
That's what I'm assuming. Yeah, but he was in 6 agencies in 4 years. Um, and he apparently, this was interesting right up here, real quick. Records provided by 4 of those departments do not include any complaints or disciplinary action against him. So He's hopping from place to place to place, and at least 4 of them they have only received responses from 5 so far. But of the 5, 4 of them have not. There's no disciplinary action. I guess on the 5th one he did. They also mentioned that he had 2 DUIs in 2015 and 2016 that he pled guilty to. To this case, he pled not guilty. To this case of killing Sonya Massey, he pled not guilty. Um,
He pled
and
not guilty because he knows he's gonna go away for a while.
mm-hmm,
He's trying to fight it, try to get a lesser sentence, maybe.
yeah, yeah. He even apparently calls her a crazy bee after killing her. Uh, yeah. And again, she called 911 for help. I didn't know she was only 36. Oh my goodness.
That's wild.
All right. So yeah, we can take it
Yeah,
piece by
man.
piece or do it like as a whole. However you would like to break this down. And comments,
Um,
let us know what your thoughts are on all this.
you know, I'm not gonna really break it down piece by piece. I think that I'm just gonna say what I say. Um, I have a lot to say about this, which is why I don't know if I want to break it down piece by piece. Um, because it don't really match what this is. First and foremost, you know, R.I.P. My condolences to the family of Sonya Massey, or Massey. I'm not too sure if I'm butchering the last name,
Oh, that's a good
but
point. Yeah, I'm not sure either.
you know, I just feel like this is this is wild, man. Like it's another senseless killing. Um, though I am a little happy that they arrested this man and charged him without bail. That's even
Right.
better. Like I haven't heard that. I haven't heard something like that happen in a while. So that's the first thing I want to say. Is like, it seems like justice might be getting served. I don't know what's going to happen next, but that's what it looks like to me. Um, so first and foremost, I want to say that. Second thing is whether Kamala or not, like, is doing this to get more votes, which unfortunately that's a very smart thing for her to do. In the fact that she is in a race where she has to really catch up, and she has to raise money. She has to solidify votes. Um, I'm not trying to make her sound like she's a horrible person. I'm just saying this is a very opportunistic time for her to do this. Um, but in any case, the fact that she did do it and Trump never did, instead he's emboldened cops by saying, "Oh, we'll give you immunity to do whatever you want to victims, so more of this could happen." And then we have the complete polar opposite where she's saying this should never happen. She's showing love to the family. She's representing the Biden administration right now.
Mm-hmm.
You know, she's the face of the Biden administration going here and showing love to a family that is struggling to have love at this point in time. So I don't know if it's genuine, but I really hope it is. And if it is, she's an amazing woman to do something like this. And I'm really and that honestly makes me even feel like, yo, if that don't give the vote, I don't know what will, because it seems like she's a genuine human being for doing this. Now, to the point of me saying like, oh, could she be pandering for votes and things like that? I kind of want to take a little bit off topic. A couple of days ago, I sent a couple of videos to the Camp Focus podcast chat between me, Kanoa, and Live, and I shared some videos about Kamala talking about how she made greens in the tub, and she conveniently walked out of a record store, and somebody was recording her, saying, "Oh, what records did you buy? Oh, you caught me. You caught me. Oh man, yeah, I'm buying records. Potentially black records. Look at this black record here, and this other black record there. You know, and that's some things. And then of course, I remember the Tupac stuff back when she was pandering to get votes for the Biden administration. The Biden administration is known for pandering for black folks. You ain't black if you don't vote for me. All these different things. So these things happen. And then now with this whole thing, I'd be remiss to not talk about it. I think that, strangely enough, people look at black people as like, oh, you're singing to the Democrats' tune, when they start doing these things like, oh yeah, I eat fried chicken and da 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 this and the third, right? Which is really horrible. But what I really wanted to share is there's a side to voting for the human behind the president that is very important. Kamala is a human at the end of the day. She's not just some robot that's trying to be president or whatever the case may be, who don't have any feelings. Like, you know what I mean? And when it comes down to our culture as black people, we really care about our culture. That's a huge thing for us. These jazz records isn't just jazz records. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not just, oh, we're doing it because we're fans. No, like, this is stuff that we relate to. We talk about hip hop because that's a part of who we are. That's a part of our that's an extension of ourselves. When we talk about, the stuff that we do on Christmas and Thanksgiving and things like that, that's a part of who we are. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is what we love to do. And this is a long tradition, generational traditions from since slavery, like that we do. And if you're not on it, then you fake, and that's real. That's a real thing. I think that when it comes down to her blackness, it's coming into question because of what she's done in the past. And she has a lot to catch up on. So that's why she's frantically doing all of these things, right? My issue with her pandering in this way, and I'm quote unquote pandering, is because let's keep it a stack here. Her background isn't like Southern black woman listens to jazz all the time. I want to, like, if you really want to be authentic with it, I want you to tell me how you make jerk chicken.
Yeah.
If we really want to be authentic about it, I want to know who's your favorite artist between Ja Cure or Sizzler. That's what I want to know. I'm gonna keep it a stack. I want to know. Is your Thanksgiving does it include oxtail? Does it include curry chicken? Like, that's what bothers me about Kamala and her doing these different things. Because you're part Jamaican. The black side of you is the Jamaican side. That's what we're trying to talk about here. But you're over here talking about, I make collard greens in the tub. Jamaicans would find that to be dirty. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's dirty, bro. Like, you doing something like that.
I did too. I was like, ew.
I don't know how, like, and I'm not trying to disrespect African Americans in any way, shape, or form. Y'all my brothers, y'all my sisters, whatever the case may be. You doing collard greens in the tub? That's weird, bro. I don't know if that's what y'all do all the time. That's weird. But we got our kalaloo. You know what I'm saying? We got our kalaloo, and we know how to cook that. We got our cabbage. We know how to cook that. That's where the for me the deafness is coming from. Like it's like, do you know patois? Do you know how to speak patois? That's something I would love to see in her. That's unique because that's the human part that makes the most sense. And I'm not saying that in my father's house, like, that we weren't listening to some soul, some R&B. You know, like we listened to that. 98 Kiss FM. Is that what it was back in the day? That radio station.
Yeah, Kiss FM.
That Kiss FM. That was also on my dad's radio playlist. So I know that that's a piece of it. But I'm telling you, Beres Hammond was a huge part. Bob Marley was a huge part. Buju Banton, that was a huge part. So, you know, I knew about these artists because I grew up listening to that over the weekends with my father. You're Jamaican, lady. I don't know about the Asian side. You're Jamaican, lady. We need to get your heritage together, bro. That's what I'm trying to say. I want to see more of that. Not the fact that you're trying to get black votes, but you will get more black votes if you was that real. Like if you came through and you was at a radio station at Breakfast Club, and it's like Vice President Kamala Harris, how you doing? Wagwan, my youth, like something like that coming out of nowhere and doing something like that. I would. That's where I'm at with it.
Imagine she does it and it sounds like Kano imitating trying to do an accent.
If she sounded like Kano, then it's clip. She not winning that presidential election. If she sound anywhere near how Kano tried to sound, it's clip. You know what I'm saying? But she better get some lessons in the dialect.
So
if she was going for that.
I got a question for you. Do you think that? Because here's the thing. She needs the black vote. 100% needs the black vote. In order to win this. Now, let's say she was honest with everyone, you know, or what? Let's assume she was honest. Also, I looked it up. So because I was wondering where she grew up. She grew up in Oakland, California. So I don't know how that might have shaped her. But you know, I heard Oakland gets busy. But that's all I know about it. And then she went to Howard University and then the University of California.
Those things are important. You're not making collard greens in a tub as an AKA. You know what? I don't know. Maybe I don't know.
Right. At the end of the day, we don't know.
Your heritage and what you did can intertwine with one another. That like I said, my father was also listening to Kiss FM. I knew about the Isley brothers, but I also knew about Beres Hammond. Where I'm trying to say there's that other side of it. That's my only problem with her trying to do this uphill battle to prove that she's black. You know, I just need to see more of that other side of her heritage that is important. That's just me personally. And I just think that she does a little too much, and she's just has to dial it back a little bit.
Because I just wonder if she was to like come out and say like, you know, like I haven't had too much connection with my Jamaican roots, and I have more of a connection with, you know, my
Asian roots
and stuff like that. What do you feel like?
Then I feel like
black vote.
Then here's
real.
No, here's what I'm saying. She was in She doesn't. So, and this is also my issue with Kamala as well. You went to a HBCU. You was an AKA, or still is an AKA, because I think you're forever AKA. You have hung out with a bunch of black people. You don't really got to do much. You don't have to make it so obvious. I'm black. Like, you know what I'm saying? You don't got to make it so obvious. You know what I'm saying? And I understand why she makes it obvious, because she has a white husband with two white with a basically like married to a white family. On top of that, you were locking up black people. Right. At least that's how the story goes. Right. But if people were to dig a little bit further, you'll see more things that she's done for black people. She just needs to express more of her HBCU roots, which I see her do sometimes. Like when she's in the marching, when she be doing the marching band, she be doing the little dance. Like do the things with the AKA and different things like that.
Do the things that you're familiar with. Do the things that relate to
you. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah.
I think and it will come out way easier.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like know like you can't just be an AKA and not know Black history.
Right. Just to read Kano's comment here. She's really from Oakland when it was black. She went to an HBCU. She's part of the Divine Nine. She's an AKA. That woman has always been black. It's not pandering. I think there's an aspect where there's a possibility for it to seem as though it's pandering. If she is in fact stepping outside of, like, if she wouldn't normally go to that record store for them jazz records, you know what I mean? I think then it becomes some type of an aspect of pandering. But you're absolutely right. These roots are her roots, essentially. And so, it's not like you're seeing Trump walking out of there like, I love these jazz records. I cook collard greens, we was in the tub. Like it's a completely different thing. So you're right. It's not like she doesn't belong, but she, it can come off that way essentially.
And that's my point. And it comes off that way. And it also comes off more that way when you say my Thanksgiving with my family, I cook collard greens in the tub type stuff, right? But your heritage says otherwise. You know what I'm saying? Your heritage is of Jamaican or Asian descent. And to answer your question, if it was Asian, you'll get the Asian vote, but you have the black vote already, being an AKA, going to a HBCU, living in Oakland, California. You and literally you coming out of the mud and doing what you're doing right now. Like, that's all super important and powerful stuff as a black woman. You know what I mean? So just go back to that.
Like,
you know what I'm saying?
She needs to bring these things up. Other notable AKAs include Dr. Maya Angelou, Coretta Scott King, Alicia Keys, Felicia Rashad, Queen Felicia, Rosa Parks, Brandy, Jada Pinkett, Ella Fitzgerald. That's her sorority sisters. And that's the sorority she picked before she had political ambition. So those are the things that I think that's what you're saying, Martin, is like, those are the things that need to be like your talking points, your calling cards for this type of thing. These are the things that you need to lean back on, because we're going to be able to see the authenticity.
And also, and thank you, Kano, for even sharing these things, because it makes the whole Sonya Massey thing, as we bring it back to the Sonya Massey thing, a reality for me, because you coming from Oakland, California, when it was blackity black. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's a real situation. You know what I'm saying? You know the stuff that goes down in Oakland. And you know what I mean? You know how the cops treat people out in Oakland. So you calling up Sonya Massey and saying, "Yo, da 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 da," like, and speaking to the family, that's important, bro, and it makes more sense.
Yeah, I also like later on um in this what we shared. I guess I could share it real quick again so we're all reading together on the same page. Let's see. Ba ba ba. Okay. Right here. So Crump is the basically like an activist. I believe he has something to do in law or something like that. But I was reading it before and I'm forgetting right now. But he helps out a lot of these families with these cases. Um, and he said that right here that Harris has called several of the families that he has represented, that Crump has represented, and that Friday's call underscored the vice president's continued commitment to civil rights and justice. And this is uh, he says, as busy as she is right now dealing with the foreign countries and leaders, to say I won't forget this black woman and her family. That speaks to her character, Crump said. He also said, this is what I wanted to highlight, that Harris left a voicemail message. It's just a voicemail for the family of Devonte Mitchell. If I pronounced that right, a black man who died in after he Jeez, who died after he was pinned down by hotel security guards outside of of a hotel in Milwaukee. What happened to y'all? In Milwaukee last month. Um, these people forgot how to write. Um, so this is something like I bring this up because I wonder if this may possibly speak to an aspect of authenticity here. Um, because this is like I don't know. Have you heard of this case with Devonte Mitchell?
I've heard
Because
yeah.
I
I
haven't.
don't know the ins and outs and specifics, but I've heard the name.
So I haven't, and I think it definitely hasn't gotten as much press as the Sonya Massey situation. Um, and for her to still reach out to that family, leave a voicemail, not even talk to anyone, you know, not even like have any type of conversation where they could go back and report it or something. You know what I mean? I mean, the voicemail obviously got reported, but to even just leave a voicemail, you know, I don't know. And it could still, fall in line with or look like you're just trying to get the black vote. But it does kind of, for me at least, give this air of possibly like whether they have high publicity cases or not. I'm gonna reach out to these families that are suffering injustices and stuff like that. So I don't know. It was
But
something that
you
stood out to
also
me.
we also gotta also say that there's a couple things that in the last slide that Natasha brought up. Shout out to Natasha, sharing what Kamala has done outside of the fact that of quote unquote locking up a bunch of black people for minor drug charges or whatever. And a lot of it had to do with helping black people.
Mm,
It did. A lot of it had to do with it. Um, Call back to that. Go back to
right.
that. All I'm saying is you have the cards. You've
Yeah.
been. It just brings up this almost Drake vibe where it's like you're trying so hard to be black. Like you don't have to try too hard to be black. We see that. Um, we see that, and that's just what it is.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I could definitely understand all of that. And I could understand how all of this can look. One thing I will say is that, man, I feel like we got to be careful Not what you're saying. I think that you're expressing this in the right way, because you're acknowledging both sides of this. But I feel like I'm seeing a lot of things surfacing that have a lot to do with, hate against Kamala, and I'm just like, yo, y'all, this isn't the time. Like, and I guess I shouldn't. I almost feel like a hypocrite for saying that because, um, I was complaining just a few weeks ago, like, yo, I'm not gonna vote if it's just Biden or Trump. I'm not gonna vote. I'm not happy with either of them. Um, but I will say, after hearing this whole immunity stuff for the feds and for police, and man's got immunity too, I feel so terrified that I'm like, yo, can we like cancel everyone's account that's talking negatively about her right now? Can she just be the woman who had the highest fundraising in a 24-hour period in campaign history? Can we just keep that to be the case? If I don't know if those numbers are right, but I believe it was something like that. And can we just please, y'all, please, can we not let this man in office? Oh my goodness. So yeah,
Yeah.
so
And let me
it does get
also
me worried when I read these things. Like, even though it's
also
real.
let me just add that too, just to pick off what Live is saying. I'm not saying all of this to say don't vote for Kamala, but I'm
Right.
also saying I'm watching Kamala too. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I'm not voting. I'm not voting. I want my vote to matter. It means something, and I'm also looking at her with scrutiny. Just is like me looking at Biden with scrutiny. You know what I'm saying? Like the same thing with Kano saying that she picked up that jazz record in May 2023 when she wasn't running for anything. You mean when we all was thinking she was doing nothing? So you mean that she was picking up jazz records when she should have been helping with the country? Remember, we thought she was doing nothing at first. So and then I feel like when it comes down to blackness, she's like, yo, I'm here doing my black thing. You know what I'm saying? And it's kind of like I don't need that. I just need you to tell me what you did as a vice president. And I can't wait to see. I really hope that there's opportunities for her to share all the things that she has been doing while she was in the Biden administration. Just hear it from her. Um, and also, I just want to make sure that we're looking at somebody that actually is trying to help our communities, because that's what I'm here for. Because I don't care. I don't care if my Cornel West vote means that Trump wins. I'm voting for Cornel West. My vote gonna mean something this year. Real rap
You
raw.
I can't even say anything because last time, I know me and Kano was like on you, like, yo, you can't do this, bro. You gotta vote for him. You gotta vote. And so I'm not gonna do that.
And you know
We're
what?
gonna
I voted,
yours.
and honestly, I voted when I voted at the time. I voted because of Kamala, and I made the notion. Oh, she's black and she's a woman and vice president. That's dope. That's the only reason I'm voting. I don't want that to be like that this year. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want to look at the policies. Um, I don't want it to be me looking at her picking up jazz records or me talking about or her talking about Tupac and things like that. Like, I don't want that. I want or collard greens, whatever. I want it to be. I know your policies, and I voted because of your policies. I voted for Obama. I never knew anything about policies. I just voted because he was black. I'll tell the truth. I don't want my vote to be this way anymore.
Yeah.
I'm not and I don't and I understand that there's a fear that when Trump comes into office, this whole 2025 thing, oh yeah, you gotta vote for I if I'm gonna die, I want to die knowing that my vote that I put my vote in, and I was actually true to my vote, and not voting because other people told me to, or because this person's black, or because of something that has nothing to do with policies. I'm voting for Cornel West because I looked at his policies, and every single piece of his policies, I believe in every single one of them. I'm in one of. I'm like one of his policies directly affects my job. So, I'm reading up on that stuff. So, it's important.
Yo, much respect to you. Much respect to you. I am too terrified to do that, but much respect to you. I I do wish that that I knew Cornell was uh even in the race at all. Um because I would have taken him, 100%. But now I just can't look past it. I just can't get past it. I will say that if this was true, that this was from May of last year, uh I don't know, maybe it gives a little validity, but at the same time, it doesn't change the fact that it was the way she walked up. It was the way she spoke about it. You know what I mean? There was this air of she's like,
Oh wow, you caught me.
yeah, like,
Wow.
have you heard of this artist? Huh? Look at that. Like it's like I don't know. I don't know. But you can't take away everything else that Kano said here. She went to Howard with alumni that was Chadwick Boseman, Thurgood Marshall, Stokely Carmichael, uh, Amira Baraka, Nick Cannon, and Marlon Wayans. Oakland is the birthplace of the Black Panther Party. Uh, when she was 15, Oakland was almost half black. Um, so those are things that you can't take away from her. And I agree with you, Martin. Those are the things that she needs to lean into. She needs to lean into who she authentically is, and let that come off authentically, just as authentic as, when she's speaking. These past speeches that she's had lately have just been phenomenal. That campaign ad that she released, her first one, oh, incredible, gives me goosebumps. She's just she went to visit Team USA in the Olympics and stuff like that, and even the way she talked to them, conversation, her shaking LeBron's hand, like all of it seemed very like authentic. She's like, show the cart, you're playing for your country, blah blah blah, and then finishes off, bring home that gold. Like, you know what I mean? It's like, oh, that I felt that. You real right now. She needs to continue with that type of energy and lean into everything that Kano just listed. It needs to be like, this is where she needs to go with everything. With people want to say, oh, she's not, and I will say, I really do hate I could understand culturally, like, I'm Puerto Rican, but culturally, I not that I have no connection to my roots culturally, but it doesn't dominate. I'm more of the American culture. You know what I mean? Um, so I do believe that could be an aspect, but oh, that girl ain't black, you know? She's blah blah blah. Like, I hate that. They did the same thing to Obama. He's not entirely black. You know what I mean? It's like, come on, y'all. Like, nah, you
But
don't get the card
but he
to
leaned in. But you know what he leaned into? I'm from the South Side of Chicago.
oh, 100%.
He
Oh,
leaned into it.
that joint oozed off of him, bro. Like, it was just natural for him. Yeah, like, you could tell that man, just the whole swag, everything, tells you his background, where he's from. It wasn't question, it was authentic for him, you know? So, and that's what I mean by culturally. That's what I mean. You can culturally be disconnected from those Black roots. Yes, but that therefore does not mean that all of a sudden you're not Black. Like I at least in my mind, that's because they tried to do that with him. Like
Yeah.
they tried to do that with him and like discredit him in that way. And I feel like it's not right to try and discredit her in that way. You want to talk about culturally, that's a whole different story. But just outright being like, oh, she's not Black. I think that's ridiculous. And where do you get off? Where do you get off? Where do you get the right to? It doesn't feel that doesn't feel like that. It just doesn't feel right to me to discredit someone's actual background, and how she would be perceived on top of that. Let's also bring that into it. But I do get what you're saying. Like culturally, you could not be at all. Culturally, you could be like more white. So
Yeah.
that's up in the air. So yeah, but yeah, I do. Last thing I just want to say is this right here, real quick, and we'll end here. I know we're going way over time. I do apologize. That is my fault. This guy right here. What's his name? Sean Grayson. Put that man under the jail. Put this man under the jail. I'm so disgusted by him, by that video, by those actions, and his, even the way he was before he even pulled out the gun, the attitude, the arrogance. Who are you to tell a woman that has a boiling pot of water to turn off the water on the stove? Like, who are you to tell me what to do in my house when I called you for help? And I know that this goes into the aspect of where I know that you've told me this before, the fear that people of color can have calling the police for something because they're afraid for their own life if they
I'll just
call
do it
help.
myself. Exactly.
Right. So it just feeds more into that. Her daughter had confirmed that she was struggling with some mental health issues. Which I could, in the video, I know for me, off the initial interaction, I could tell like, okay, this, something seems a bit off. This man must have never had any interaction. Plus, he's probably trigger happy. Plus, on top of that, definitely, I feel definitely racist. Like all of these things intertwine into this horrible human being. There's a lot more I want to say, and I'm heartbroken over this, and I just really just want to say it's sick, bro. She's 36. She was 36. Rest in peace to her. I can only imagine what it must be like to be that father. Like, if that was my daughter, and it's crazy because I could say that now. You know what I mean? Like, if that was my daughter, I'm just heartbroken. It's really like heavy for me, and yeah, put this dude under the jail. Just to acknowledge what he was sentenced with over here. Real quick. Where was it? I just had it. All right, yeah. So he's only 30. Has pleaded not guilty to charges of first-degree murder, aggravated battery with a firearm, and official misconduct. and he's being detained without bond. So we'll see how long he gets. I do believe that they're handling this in the right way, it seems. But I'm just so I can't believe it, man. I just like for something to escalate that quickly over nothing, nothing. And then you stand over her body and still demean her existence, bro. Get under the jail, bro. Get under the jail. Don't you come out again. We don't want to see you. We don't. So that's it. That's all I just wanted to say with that.
100% agree.
Yeah.
But
So yeah, what were you gonna say?
I was gonna say, as we land the plane, shout outs to for the people that's been in the chat. Kano Music, whoever that is, welcome to the chat. Shout outs to Jimmy and Vicky for being here, and Coach Ian, my guy Ian, coming through to check it out. Thank you so much for the love and respect. This is the new channel, CFP Lives. This is where we go live at, and then we put the clips on our regular Can't Focus podcast channel. So if you're wondering why we got two different channels, one is for the lives, one is for the clips. And we're doing this for algorithm reasons, like my brother Eli said earlier. With that being said, y'all, much love to y'all. Thank y'all so much for the support that you continue to give us.
Yes, indeed. This is the Can't Focus podcast where we focus on everything and nothing at the same time. We signing off. Have a good one, y'all. Peace.